Hello everyone, my name is Brock Cardwell, and this is my presentation over the key theories that comprise the science of reading. In my introduction, I put the introduction of science in reading. Basically, I'm going to be discussing the 5 key theories that shape understanding with reading, writing, listening, and speaking instructions. Reading is considered a gateway to learning, but how do we actually learn to read? This science of reading provides key insight that guides effective instruction. On my next slide, I'm going to be talking about the simple view of reading. Below, I listed 3 definitions. Formula, which is the reading comprehension equaling decoding times linguistics comprehension. Decoding just means the ability to read words, and linguistics comprehension is the ability to understand spoken language. What I put on the simple view of reading is it's a theory that was proposed by Go and Toomer, emphasizes that both decoding and linguistics comprehension must work together for a child to understand what they are reading. If one of these is weaker, reading comprehension suffers. My next slide talks about the Scarborough's reading rope, and if I botched his name, I'm so sorry. Basically, Scarborough's model illustrates how reading is not just a skill, but it's a combination of many things. Each strand must be developed for a student to become a fluent reader. This integration of these skills leads to them becoming a proficient reader. As someone who works in the education system, I see a exponential growth from when they go from kindergarten to first grade in their reading. It's amazing to see how fast they can read. On my next slide, my 4th slide talks about, I'm going to botch his name again too, Erie's 4 phases of word reading. In this slide, I listed the 4 phases. We have pre-alphabetic, partial alphabetic, full alphabetic, and consolidated alphabetic. Basically, Erie's 4 phases explain how students move through different stages of the word recognition. In the early phases, they rely on visual cues, letter patterns, and as they progress, they become more fluent readers. They eventually will understand letter sounds, relationships, and depth. I know as someone who works at an elementary, I work with kindergarten and 4th grade, and basically every grade, kindergarten through 4th grade. And I see just such a monumental growth from them going from kindergarten to 1st grade, and then even a bigger growth from 1st grade and on. But what I recognized when I was doing this project is how much we use his 4 phases. I know in kindergarten when I'm teaching, they are still trying to learn to read. And so we definitely use a lot of visual cues, sounds. We do a lot of sounds. So I think we definitely use a lot of pre-alphabetic and partial alphabetic, the recognizing words based on some letters. We definitely use that. And a little bit of the full alphabetic too, understanding letter-sound relationships. We do use that a lot. But it's crazy that they go from not knowing to read to being able to read in a matter of a year. It's unreal, and it's honestly one of the main reasons why I wanted to be a teacher is because it's so fascinating to see the growth. On my 6th slide, I talk about the simple viewing of writing. And just like reading, writing involves multiple skills. Students must develop both mechanical skills of writing and a cognitive ability to generate ideas, structure, and be able to structure them clearly. I did in my slides, I put a couple definitions like text generation, the ability to create ideas and structure them into written form. Transcripts, that's just spelling, handwriting, and mechanics. And there is a formula for writing proficiency. It's transcription times text generation. Kind of like the last one. If one's weaker, they suffer. My last slide is the 4-part processing model. The 4-part processing model explains the multiple processing involving in reading. For instance, the orthographic processor that's in my slide helps us recognize words, while the context processor helps us figure out unfamiliar words based on the sentence that they are in. I know in especially my kindergarten and first grade class, we definitely use orthographic processors to recognize word patterns. Kind of like what I do is like phonemic awareness, if you know what that is. It's the recognizing word patterns, how they might make the same sounds. Definitely in all the grades, we use the phonological processing, sounding out words. You take the first sound and sound it out. Meaning processor interprets of the meaning of the words. We definitely use that. I'm less aware of that one, I would say. Context processor, helping understand words based on the surrounding text. We definitely use that one, especially for our kindergartners. To help them read and learn words better, we help them understand with the surrounding text. We also use, I do picture books that kind of have words on them, and it describes what's happening in the image, and I think that helps the children a lot. And then my last slide is my 2 references that I used, and that is everything. So thank you for this time watching my video. Have a good day.